Democrats just got exposed for lying to the American people yet again. We've got clips of Kamala Harris, Hakeem Jeffries, and others that you're not gonna believe are real. CNN and CBS have finally had enough and are now asking liberals the tough questions. And House Speaker Mike Johnson reveals what Democrats want in order to reopen the government. We've got a lot to talk about, but before that, make sure that you like this video and subscribe to the Civic Trigger. Former Vice President Kamala Harris just can't help herself as she's again caught lying about Joe Biden. It's no secret that the two aren't the best of friends anymore, but with the former president going through cancer treatment, Harris made the mistake of trying to sound relevant with what's happening. Listen to how quickly she changed her story about talking to Biden.
His spokesperson said that he is going to now start doing radiation for his prostate cancer. Have you talked to him about it?
I called him earlier.
Mm-hmm. How's he doing?
I have not talked to him. I just left him a message after I heard the news. I was otherwise on the event at the event. I think Joe Biden is a fighter, and that is what I told him and left him a message. He's a fighter, and he's going to fight this.
Now, it's either she misunderstood the question of having talked to Biden, or she just revealed to all of us that the former president won't even take her calls. Either way, it's not a good look for her, as she's being seen as the presidential nominee for the left come 2028. And we've got even more bad news for the Democratic Party, as both CNN and CBS seem to be getting tired of their false narratives. This comes as top Democratic leaders continue to blame Republicans for the government shutdown. Listen to CNN's Dana Bash asking Hakeem Jeffries about trying to talk to Speaker Johnson. You won't believe how she calls Jeffries out on national television. Watch this.
Engagement to try to find
You're
common
right down
ground.
the hall from Mike Johnson's office. I know exactly where you are. You could probably take a few steps and go knock on the door and talk to him. Have you tried that?
Speaker Johnson hasn't been given permission to have a conversation with me or Leader Schumer, and he said as much earlier today.
So you don't think he would talk to you at all?
We can have a conversation, but the problem is that until they get the green light to actually have a meaningful discussion to try to find common ground and a bipartisan path forward, and a willingness to address the damage that Republicans have done to the health, the safety, and the economic well-being of the American people, then of course any informal discussion is going to be not fruitful.
We're going to talk about what Democrats want when it comes to using our taxpayer dollars and this shutdown. But first, I want you to watch how CBS puts Senator Chris Murphy in the hot seat, basically calling him a hypocrite to his face.
You have been critical in the past of the tactic of choosing to shut down the government. You were in 2018, you were back in 2013 when it was a discussion over health care. This is what you said in 2018.
The future of the American healthcare system was a legitimate public policy issue, as is the security of our borders. But we shouldn't be having the discussion amidst a government shutdown, trying to use our nation's security and all of these federal workers and the work that they do as hostages.
Aren't you doing today exactly what you were criticizing then?
No, that was a fight over sort of the long term.
And that's the truth. Democrats are holding the government hostage because of their demands. But what exactly do they want? House Speaker Mike Johnson publicly exposed what liberals are fighting for. And here's a spoiler: they want to use our taxpayer money to help everybody else but Americans.
And they would send $500 million to liberal news outlets by refunding the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. It would also restore up to $5 billion of American taxpayer funds for wasteful spending for international projects. Here's a couple of examples. This is in their legislation, their counterproposal on the CR to keep the lights open. This is what they want to do. They want to spend $24.6 million of your hard-earned dollars as a taxpayer for climate resilience in Honduras. They want to spend $13.4 million for civic engagement in Zimbabwe. They want to send $3.9 million for LGBTQI plus democracy grants in the Western Balkans. They want to spend $2.9 million of your dollars for desert locust risk reduction in the Horn of Africa. And $2 million for, quote, organizing for feminist democratic principles in Africa. We are not doing that.
You all must know that our military families are now struggling because of this government shutdown. And while he didn't provide a source, President Trump has finally confirmed that he's got a very wealthy donor who's willing to cover the pay for our troops until this mess is done.
Shutdown. You have the money to pay the troops on October 15th. Okay. How is
I actually have a man who is a very wealthy person. You'll know that when I tell you this. Who called a donor, a great gentleman, and he said, if there's any money necessary, shortfall, for the paying of the troops, that I will pay it, meaning he will pay it. How about that? I said, look, we're not going to need it. We're going to take care of our troops. But this was a position that's being forced upon us by Democrats.
Now, I'm already thinking this could be Elon Musk, but I'm sure the president has a lot of connections that are willing to support our troops. But I want your take on this. Do you agree to have our taxpayer dollars used by Democrats for programs overseas? Let me know in the comments. Before I go, please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to keep yourself informed. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you in the next one.